Hello everyone and welcome back to the SteemTrail Gaming Podcast. Today is the 9th February of 2019. My name is Kralizec and I will be one of your two hosts for the evening. The second being my co-host and my friend, Tygergamer. Hey Tiger, how you doing?
I'm doing excellent. How about yourself?
I'm doing actually pretty good. Yeah, I would say so.
Good to hear.
I guess let's get directly into the show and talk
All right.
about video games. What do you say about that?
All right, let's do it.
So, did you get to play anything interesting this week?
I got to play this game called Apex Legends.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with a confession. Forgive me for I have sinned. I have bulged and I've downloaded Origin because I actually wanted to try Apex Legends as well. So I did. I'm really sad. I'm pissed at myself, but you know what? I think Apex Legends was really fun.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So, for how long did you get to play?
Well, these types of games are not my forte, but I did play like around 5 to 10 matches, and that's about it so far.
Yeah, then we're pretty much in the same league.
Yeah. But from what I played, yeah, it's actually one of the better battle royale games out there.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the things I really like is you don't need a mic to communicate with your team.
Oh yeah,
like
the ping function is amazing.
Yes. And honestly, if multiplayer games do not start implementing this feature into their own games, I would say that'll be a missed opportunity for the rest of the online games. Because, what's that?
So I actually have a lot to say about his ping system, but go on.
I'll just say I think it's pretty good and wonderful that they added this in there. So you don't actually, I guess like one of the best things about Apex is you don't actually talk to people. You just ping something and that's your best communication right there.
Yeah. So for me, the ping system felt completely natural, and that's because I've already used such a system. Like years ago, when I used to play SWAT 4. And that game had pretty much the same system, though actually that system there was a bit more complex because it had more options to go into. And yeah, when I played Apex Legends, I was like, holy shit. Now we remember, we used to have these things in games. And it was awesome. It allowed randoms to play together at actually a tactical level. Not just doing random shit all over the place. And yes, obviously, when I got into... Because SWAT 4 was a game I actually played at a quote-unquote esports level at that time, when esports were a thing 7 people did. But yeah, when we got into esports, obviously we switched into voice because it's quicker, it allows you to put in more information than just a ping. But yeah, for playing with randos, this makes totally sense. And honestly, now that I remember that it used to be in games, I don't understand why it fell off the radar.
Yeah, really.
I guess the developers just used to think, okay, so we have a voice chat system. That means we can just forget people who don't have voice communication. They would just use text, but text means that you have to stop playing for a second.
Yeah.
So,
and also, I'd also like to point out that using the ping system
Mm-hmm.
is actually better when you're trying to communicate where an enemy is. Because then with the ping system, all you have to do is just ping the enemy, and all your teammates know where the enemy is at.
Yeah, for some things, it's actually better. I totally agree with you. Like, I don't think SWAT 4 had like a location system for the enemy where you ping him and he shows up on a mini map or something like that. You could just like yell, "There's an enemy in that room" or something like that. Because, you know, that was more of a quote-unquote realistic simulation, trying to simulate the work of policemen and terrorists on the other hand, so obviously you wouldn't have such features available to you. But yeah, the ping system, why was that just forgotten from games? I truly don't understand that.
Yeah, shoot. Even though I'm not a big multiplayer guy, I actually recommended this to my brother, who's actually a big multiplayer guy, and I'm surprised he's not played it yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, though, Apex Legends, man, I'm actually kind of curious to see what the future has in store for this title.
So honestly, I think Apex Legends will form with Fortnite and PUBG will form the triumvirate. Is that a word? Fuck. No, this is the top three. The top 3 games that will be in Battle Royale. The ones that will divide the market will be PUBG, Fortnite, and Apex Legends.
Yeah, I think the word that you're looking for is the trifecta of Battle Royale games.
No, I don't. I know the word. I just don't remember how to pronounce it. Triumvirate. Triumvirate. How do you pronounce that? Triumvirate, I think. I don't give a shit in the end. But I think it actually nicely fills a niche that was currently missing in the Battle Royale games. So obviously, Fortnite is the more casual, almost kid-friendly Battle Royale game because of its cartoonish graphics.
Yeah.
PUBG is the quote-unquote hardcore Battle Royale, where people who want a realistic, you know, gunplay and etc., they go for PUBG. And the people who want something in the middle, they have Apex Legends. And on top of that, the fact that it provides classes or, you know, individual characters with different abilities sort of puts it in its own sort of league. And I gotta say, I really enjoyed that part. I haven't tried all the characters. I played the girl one that's purple. I don't remember their names at all.
I think her name was Wraith. You talking about the one that could like pause time and
yeah, she can like teleport a little bit. Yeah. Then I tried the robot who has the grapple hook. He's obviously gonna be the sniper because, you know, you can grapple to ridiculous places.
Yeah.
And
not to mention with if you want to play a sniper, you can actually have someone be the spotter and they actually ping enemies for you, so that way you can easily pick off enemies. So
yeah, just like actually these two make the perfect combo for that because I think you said Wraith, right? Wraith can go around just scouting, and if she gets put into real danger, well, she vanishes for a little bit and runs away. And then I tried the one, the tank class who has the ability when he puts his sights down, he has that little shield.
Yeah.
And honestly, I enjoyed him the most because I like tanky classes when I'm playing first-person shooters, but you know, everybody likes their own thing.
Oh yeah.
But in general, I think actually Apex Legends managed to fit a very, very nice spot on the market that was missing. And actually, it's showing that the numbers of people streaming this on Twitch, number of people watching this are very good. Obviously, we currently do we have a number for how many people downloaded this or not? Apex.
I think like a day or two. I think the highest that the game has gotten so far is 10 million players. So.
Yeah, so it was 10 million. Obviously, that's going to go down, you know, because this was something people that just, they want to try this out. But then I think it's going to start steadily rising as people who haven't tried it right now may try to, you know, switch from Fortnite or from PUBG because they just got bored with that one, but they like the genre, so they want to switch to another game within the genre. Yeah, Apex Legends, I think we're going to definitely be hearing more of this.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. And also, I would also like to commend Respawn for actually, like, keeping this game under wraps for so long. And then the day that they announced it, that was the same day as they released it.
Yeah,
so
that was
good on them.
Yeah, there was that one leak coming from the Cortoning, but otherwise,
yeah,
nobody pretty much knew about this. Well, nobody knew about this. It was like we talked about it the day it was leaked last week, and we were like, "Yeah, maybe it's coming out. Maybe it's just bullshit." And then, yeah, it's here. Though, I'm gonna say this. I'm really sad that we don't have even like suits, just, you know, not full Titans, but just some like suits that I think that would, instead of like individual characters with classes, they should just have like a quote unquote character that gets put into a suit that provides with the class. That I think that would fit with the Titanfall universe much better.
Yeah. And also, another omission that I'm actually kind of sad that's not in this game is wall running.
Oh, yeah, wall running. Yeah, why isn't wall running? Oh, I know why wall running isn't in there, because it's so hard to do a PvP game that has wall running. I think that was one of the reasons why Titanfall didn't really succeed, because people who learn wall running compared to the people who don't learn it, they're like on a completely different level of gameplay. Like, and can you imagine like just getting a group, you know, one squad of people who know how to wall run in a match, you know, in the server? They would dominate everybody, like insanely dominate them.
Yeah. And also, I would also like to mention, in all honesty though, if I didn't play Titanfall 2 back in October when I did, there might have been a slight chance I probably wouldn't have to give this game a try. And yeah, I can't wait to see what Respawn does next. Hopefully, EA does not screw them over.
Yeah, but and that's a hard thing to do for EA.
Yeah, really.
There have been a few issues with Apex Legends since it launched, which was last week, though. One of the bigger ones was that it actually was discovered that... have you heard of GDPR? You probably did, right?
No.
So GDPR... Oh, you lucky son of a bitch, you haven't heard about this. It's this thing in Europe that's called the General Data Protection Regulation. It's pretty much a law that says, you know, companies cannot use their data without your consent. Have you noticed that if you go to pretty much, I don't know, maybe this isn't a thing for you in America because, you know, of IP, but if I go to any website, I have to click that I agree that they will use my cookies. Have you noticed that? It just popped out a lot of sites asking you for permission to use cookies?
Yeah, I've actually noticed on a few sites I went to in the past few months. So yeah, I've noticed that.
So yeah, that's because of GDPR. And obviously it's branching out to pretty much everywhere. And Apex Legends seems to be sort of having a little bit of violation because if you go into the game's options, there's this one thing that's called usage sharing, where it states that EA collects data from your device to price and improve our products and services, update software, dynamically serve content, provide product support, communicate with you, and personalize your experience with EA. Blah, 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 you know, the typical stuff. And it's enabled by default. In Europe, because of GDPR, it should be disabled by default, and you should have to be forced to click enable if you are okay with it, or the game should have a prompt at the start that says, we're going to be collecting your data. Are you okay with this? If you are not, then just click no. Or this thing, but in business talk. Yeah, obviously this is going to get very quickly fixed because it's a tiny little thing to change to the game's code. Yeah. Yeah, other problems were that people were essentially complaining that they made this instead of Titanfall 3. Though now we actually do have confirmation that there is a Titanfall game that will cost money in the development. We don't know if it will be Titanfall 3. We actually heard some news that it won't be Titanfall 3. But some Titanfall game is in the development for PC and probably consoles. So yeah. So that's their criticism gone. Otherwise, I actually haven't seen anything major. I haven't seen like people complaining that the servers were unstable, that a game was buggy or anything like that. Like, this was as clean of a launch as you can get.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree.
This is actually where I have to commend EA, and I hate doing that, but in fairness, the fact that they're such a giant company gives them so much resources that they can actually do stuff like this really well. And they do have enough experience with it. Even though they have screwed it in the past, it seems they actually learned, at least on this front. Like,
yeah, in all honesty, though, I think really though, Respawn deserves a credit considering that EA is the publisher, but they actually let Respawn just let them do what they usually do, and they were able to get this game out there successfully. So.
Oh well, yeah. Obviously, what I was talking was just the network infrastructure, but because that's I'm gonna guess where EA is going to be largely responsible for that. Respawn's gonna be the developer, but EA is going to be picking up all server costs, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and did you hear about one of the reasons why they actually had the shadow drop of a launch?
Oh, I don't think so.
Well, any company that's associated with EA, there's gonna be, when a game's announced from them, there's gonna be a lot of skepticism from critics and consumers and
people like me, yeah.
Yeah, and me too. And so Respawn was like, instead of announcing something like months in advance, they just decided to launch the game as soon as they announce it, so people can judge for themselves right then and there. They don't have to speculate or, controversy does not have to start spreading before the game even comes out. They just throw it out there, and there it is.
And you know what? That was a good decision on their part. I can see why they had such a decision, and yeah, it was a good decision. There's just no doubt about that in my mind.
Yeah, I agree.
So I gotta say, a definite recommendation to try out Apex Legends for me.
Yeah, most definitely. Same here.
I'm gonna guess most of you guys already have Origin in your computers, so just click download. It's not that hard.
Same on PS4 and Xbox One. All you have to do is go to their respective marketplaces and click download on there too. Yeah. There you go.
Okay, so I think that's enough about Apex Legends, though we could probably be talking about that for a bit longer. But I don't want to give that much publicity to EA.
Well, give it to Respawn because they deserve more than EA.
Yeah. So I actually did get to play a few other games. One of them was called Euclidean Skies. So Euclidean Skies, for anybody who wants to know, it's a little puzzle game with a very, very cool looking graphic. And it's available for €573. Currently, it's 30% sale, so obviously it's not the most expensive game. I think the game isn't as good as it could have been. It looks gorgeous. It has a good puzzle premise, but it's executed badly, and that makes me sad. The biggest problem being, it controls awfully, like just horribly. So to describe the game is essentially a game of Rubik's Cube. So you have this character, and that's set on this board of little, cubes that can be moved the same way a Rubik's Cube can be moved. And your goal is to either get to the final place where you're supposed to be, or kill the enemies and then get into the final place where you're supposed to be in the least amount of moves possible. And that actually sounds like a fun puzzling premise.
Yeah, it does.
The problem is controlling the game is just bloody awful. It took me like there should really be a tutorial put into this game, and there really isn't, and it's just sad. Because if the game had a tutorial that explained to you how you can move things, it would have been just great. And I don't know why the game is only controllable by mouse. And it just begs of being controllable by keyboard. Where you would go to the part of the cube you want to control, you would like hold the button, and then you could use just, your arrow keys to move it in certain directions, because you can only move always, leftwards or upwards or downwards or rightwards. There's no other option. It's a cube. You cannot move it more ways. And occasionally, like, I would try to rotate the cube, so it would rotate horizontally to the right. But I would move my mouse slightly differently than the game wanted me to, so the cube would rotate vertically. And this just kept happening all the freaking time. And man, it just makes me sad, because the game has great potential, but just needs better controls. It looks gorgeous. The game truly looks gorgeous. And had a possibility of being one of the coolest puzzle games I will play this year, but the controls just take it down a notch. It makes me sad. Though, if you like puzzle games and you can get over the controls, I would still recommend it. If you're not into puzzle games that much, then obviously this is not for you. And if you hate games that aren't really precise in their controls, you will hate this. But if you have the patience, then okay. Euclidean Skies, again, available right now for €573, and that's a 30% discount from what it actually was. Okay, what else did you play?
The last game I got to play this week is called Order 1886, which is a somewhat old game that came out back in 2014 for the PS4.
Okay, I need to ask, is this the game that is famous for saying console players prefer the cinematic look? Is this the one?
Probably. I've never heard that claim, so...
I think this...
I think so.
Is this the game that runs exclusively at, I think, 24 frames per second?
I don't know. I can't tell.
Looking at a trailer, I actually think it is. I need to research this after the trailer. Okay, but what did you think of this?
Oh, for the most part, I mean, the only reason why I played this is because I had it in my backlog and I got it like very, very cheap a year ago. And pretty much gameplay wise, just your run of the mill third person shooter. You take cover, shoot, same old crap. I will say though, the interesting parts of the game are actually in its world, in its alternate history setting.
Yeah, I'm just looking at a trailer, and it's like a place where Christianity never surrendered or something.
Or more like it never happened.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's what I get from it, but yeah, and this pretty much is like a what if like Nikola Tesla was more prominent than Thomas Edison was, and in this game you get to see all these stuff that did not appear until like the mid to late 1900s to being like in the 1880s Victorian England, which I find really interesting. I wish that I'm halfway through the game, but I would love to see this world even more fleshed out in the future. They're able to make a continuation of the game, and that's like the only good thing I can say is like the world and the lore and the history of this world is the thing that really interests me.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so I'm trying to find this cinematic thing.
Yeah, for the most,
yeah,
for the
it seems
part,
it actually seems to be a quote from one of the developers of this game. So what he appears to be said is, we're going for this filmic look. So one thing that we knew immediately, that films run at 24 FPS. We're going to run at 30 because 24 FPS doesn't feel good to play. So the game is locked at 30 FPS, even if your hardware is capable of running it at higher frame rates.
Yeah, I will give them this though. Even though this is an early PS4 game, it looks freaking gorgeous. I will give them that. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, it's just a movie with some third-person shooter gameplay sprinkled in here and there. And that's about it.
So then I wonder, would you rather recommend people playing this or just watching a gameplay video of this?
Honestly, if you're interested in the world, I would say probably go watch Let's Play of this game.
That's just sad when you actually hear somebody say that out loud.
Yeah, even though the game's like $20 on the PS Store, I would still not pay that much to actually get this game. And keep in mind, this game was actually a full-price game when it first came out.
At what price point would you be willing to recommend it?
Me personally, I'll say like $5 or $10, and that's how much I paid for it when I got it.
Yeah, when I actually hear you say that's just sad in the end.
Yeah, but yeah, I hope they do make this, if they're able to make a sequel to this game and improve on the first and make the game even better. Because yeah, the world is interesting, but for the most part, it's just a glorified movie. In fact, I hate to say this about Sony, but even though I know for the most part their studios are mainly they're mainly coming off of the success of The Last of Us. I will say to them, don't freaking try and make another success like The Last of Us. Let Naughty Dog do their own thing, and y'all go and do y'all's own thing. Don't copy from y'all's own developers, because in the end, you're just be making the same types of games, the same cinematic type, and Sony will just lose all their, I guess, originality. If they keep on making games that are more cinematic than actually game focused. And The Last of Us is a good game, but We don't need a Last of Us clones all the time.
Yeah, that was exactly the problem with Telltale games. They just, that's why they bankrupt now.
Yeah.
Because they just made copies of one single game.
Mm-hmm.
And the one game was amazing. Playing it for a second time, the same exact thing, but in a different graphics, it's like, yeah, it's cool, but I would like to see something new. And when you get it for a third time, you're like, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, hopefully some of their new coming up and coming exclusives like Death Stranding and Days Gone, and I know The Last of Us Part 2 will be doing great, but hopefully their new exclusives will be more original and more exciting to play.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, we'll have to see, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one more game I played this week, and this was something I played just because I was like, yeah, I want something stupid to play. So I bought this thing called Super Pixel Racers. And I'm very happy that I did. So I think you can guess what this game is, just based off its name.
A retro racing game.
Yes, but retro not in its graphics. I know obviously in its graphics because it's pixel art, but mostly in its gameplay. And that's actually sort of amazing to me.
Huh.
This game is hard. Like, really hard. I would never ever tell anybody to play this on anything else than a gamepad. Ever. I was like, I remember playing games that looked like this when I was a kid. I played it on a keyboard, so I'm going to try playing on a keyboard. Man, that was the wrong decision, I quickly found out. And it's hard to control your car even with the gamepad.
Dang.
So the thing is, you're controlling the exact direction your car is going instead of steering.
Huh.
And that's really counterintuitive on a keyboard to do. Because you're used to, when I push left, my car is gonna steer left. Even though it's currently upside down and it should steer to the right. But when you push left, the car goes left on the screen. It doesn't turn left, it just goes to the left from your perspective. The same thing when you push up, usually push up means, to put in gas. Here it means to go up. And the same thing for going down. It's just so counterintuitive. Obviously, you could get used to it. But again, on a keyboard, then you're limited to only essentially 8 directions. Because, you can't do it as precisely as on a gamepad. So yeah, definitely use a gamepad if you're going to buy this. The game is, I think, well priced. It's €12.49. It has multiplayer options, single player campaign, free racing, and the pixel art is just great. It's so well done, and it's just, yeah, I'm very happy to have bought this. I'm hoping I will be able to do a review on this week. I'm not sure. There's a lot of going on because, the new apartment, work, and everything combined together. It's just not enough time to do what I would really want to do. But yeah, Super Pixel Racer is a definite recommendation for me.
Awesome.
Okay, anything else you played this week?
No, that's it.
Okay, that's the same for me. Then, I guess it's time to move on to the news.
Yep.
So, we talked about EA, and I said I don't want to give them more time, but let's give them a little bit more time. So, apparently, EA, at least their CEO, Andrew Wilson, are looking into making cross-play for more games in their portfolio. Obviously, right now they're primarily focusing on getting that done for Apex Legends, because that's just a huge success for them right now, and having access to a larger pool of players for matchmaking, etc., would obviously benefit their game in the long run. But he highlighted games like FIFA that just have a giant community that could benefit from crossplay. And I gotta say, I agree. Why don't you have it done already? I do know why they don't have crossplay on the PS4, because Sony has a little stick in their ass. But why?
Well, actually, remember they actually caved in.
A tiny little bit for Fortnite. But
yeah.
And recently for Rocket League, but not really for anyone else. But if there is somebody who does have the power to actually get things happening in the crossplay section on the PS4, it actually is EA.
Oh, yeah.
And if they actually manage to essentially force Sony into having crossplay for PlayStation as an available option, I'm actually going to praise them highly for that.
Oh, yeah.
So, do you think crossplay would be a good thing?
Oh, most definitely. It'll most definitely unblock players from playing. Like someone has a PS4, and like if I have a PS4 and my friend has an Xbox One and we want to play Apex together, we'll be able to do that with crossplay.
I think I would understand why they would specifically for Apex Legends say that PC gamers and console players can't play together just because of the mouse to control discrepancy. But they're, in a game like FIFA, does anybody play that like with a keyboard and mouse on a competitive level? I hope not. Yeah, I think there's just good amount of games that could benefit that just insanely from this.
Yeah.
The only thing that would scare me is that then games could get designed with the thought in mind that people on PC and consoles will be playing together, and that could impact shooters specifically, because that's the genre where the discrepancy is, I think, largest, maybe with the exception of strategy games.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the next piece of news. And so I don't remember when we talked about this, but remember the time when we talked about Pennsylvania legislators wanting to introduce a tax for video games? More specifically, mature video games.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, apparently this thing is back. So the original proposal was shut down when the guy who proposed it actually died. Rest in peace, even though I don't like your legislation. But right now, it seems to be getting back. And it's because of, well, mostly the school shootings in America. So right now, it's called House Bill number 109, which was reintroduced last month. And what it wants to do is add a 10% tax that would be collected from the sale of mature video games. That means games rated R. And this tax would be put into something called the Digital Protection for School Safety account. And the money would be used to improve security measures in schools all across Pennsylvania. So, what's your opinion on this, man?
Honestly, what I think, I know, yeah, school shootings, yeah, they are a huge problem here in the U.S. But putting a sales tax on violent video games, that's not helping solve the problem. That's actually just putting more money into the government.
Yeah. And you know what? If they truly want to do this, because they think seeing violence will make you violent, shouldn't the same thing be done for, like, R-rated movies?
Yeah, really.
R-rated music? R-rated art in general? Why just single out PC games or games in general?
Yeah.
Like, truly, I just think this is a generational gap that's currently happening in the world of politics versus popular culture.
Honestly, going back to a news story that we talked about a few weeks back, I would love to see the U.S. our government take a page from the U.K. government, asking like for stories of people who play these types of games and get opinions from that. You know, instead of just generalizing the entire gaming market, like saying, "Oh, if you play video games, you'll be violent." Ugh.
Yeah, and I'm 100% sure if you would go back 100 years to the era where movies started to be a real thing, we certainly had people who were saying, "Oh, look at those violent movies! They're making our kids violent." And no, some people are just violent and idiots or just unhealthy, and they need help.
Yeah.
I actually love a statement that the Entertainment Software Association made, because they actually said that, in their opinion, it's a violation of the United States Constitution. This law. What they said is, video games are entitled to the full protection of the Constitution, and that affords, like Pennsylvania's, to single out video games based on their content will be struck down.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, shoot, the U.S. government, if you're truly concerned about violent video games, do what the UK did. Ask for our stories of playing these violent, quote unquote, violent video games, instead of just generalizing the entire gaming community and saying, "Oh, like, you know, all that again." Because I mean,
you know what's probably the most funny to me about these kind of stories? The people who usually complain about, you know, violence in movies and video games and in general, they are the same exact person who will complain that kids these days are spending too much time at the computer instead of going out and playing games outside, while knowing very well that the most common game little kids will play outside is a game of soldiers. You know, they will pick up a stick and pretend they're shooting at each other. And that's what they did when they were children. We're doing the same exact thing, except we don't have a stick anymore and we have a mouse in our hand.
Yeah.
Just fascinating to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the generational gap. One of these days we'll be old farts saying, "Oh, back in my day, we played games with a controller or a keyboard and mouse."
Yeah, we didn't have to go to some virtual reality or something. No.
Yeah.
I really hope we will not be like that, though I'm pretty sure we will.
Oh yeah.
Okay, moving on to the next topic. And this one is sort of scary, to be honest. So, I will start with saying this may be fake because it's based off a viral Facebook post. But apparently, it was this guy who left his wife because he was addicted to Fortnite. To PUBG, sorry. He left his pregnant wife and their child because of a game. At least that's what it seems.
Oh, okay.
Again, this might be fake. I'm not completely sure this is true. So it seems that this guy was introduced to PUBG by one of his siblings, and he started playing a little bit more until he was playing a little bit too much, and then he was playing just way too much. Apparently neglecting, like going to work. And over time, he actually decided to leave his family.
Wow.
So, yeah. So first thing, do you think this thing is true?
Honestly, you said you got this from Facebook, correct?
So I found this, as a regular news piece, but originally the story comes from a viral post from Facebook.
Okay, so yeah, from it coming from a viral post on Facebook. Honestly, I'll say, yeah, it might be fake, but also it might not. And if it's not fake, I mean, wow.
Okay, so I'm actually trying to find. So yeah, so it seems to be coming from Indonesia because the text of the Facebook post is originally Indonesian. And the way it's wrote, it actually suggests to me, so give you a little bit what it says. Still no longer believe in destruction due to a game? Bill? To leave the wife's child for the sake of the game? Games and gaming are wrong, which is the fault, and it continues. So okay. I could actually, the way it's written, it actually seems like somebody angry just writing this.
Yeah. Okay. After you just reading a part of that, I just have a nagging feeling that this could be fake, because this could just be someone trying to fulfill their own agenda because they hate games or some crap like that.
Yeah, possibly, but even if it's fake, we have to remember that last year, Fortnite was cited as one of the causes for a divorce in over 200 cases in the UK. So I could personally see this being true. I'm not saying it is.
For me, it's half and half. Honestly, there needs to be more information to corroborate this post, because in this day and age, you can never be too sure if something's true or not.
Yeah, it was just sort of sad again. And let's move on into even more crappy news. This is the crappiest news of the day. So, an employee of Hyra Studios, if you don't know who that is, they're the guys who make, for example, Smite or the game Paladins, named Thomas Schung, was arrested in a sting operation against child molesters and pedophiles. So, what happened is this was something called Operation Interception. And the police posed as children, on some dating apps online, trying to collect evidence against these guys. And then they actually did the arrest during the Super Bowl weekend. And there were 21 people arrested in total. And one of them was this employee, Thomas Chung, who worked, I'm not sure, as a community specialist for the game Smite. So, apparently the people who were arrested had some sexually explicit conversations with people they believed to be children, and most of those who were arrested traveled to meet a child for sex. And that's how they got arrested. Chung himself was arrested for possessing computer electronic pornography, child exploitation, and computer exploitation online. This guy is also a Twitch streamer. He streams mostly Smite, I think. He's actually a partnered Twitch streamer, though that will not be very likely continuing for a lot of time. Oh, man. This is just bad news for the gaming community at large.
Yeah. Yeah, this is another reason for our governments to freaking generalize the entire gaming community.
And the sad thing is, we will never be able to get rid of people like this. Because you cannot stop people from playing games. You cannot stop people from being developers. Even though they're shitty people.
Yeah.
And I hope he gets put into jail if everything that has been said about him is true. And I just hope that no children were actually hurt by him in the end.
Yeah. Honestly, though, and this is just my opinion with pedophiles in general, I think, and this is my opinion alone, pedophiles, they don't just deserve to go to prison. They also deserve to be castrated. And that's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's actually what we do to pedophiles here in the Czech Republic. Or more specifically, they have the option to get castrated for essentially a lesser sentence. It doesn't have to be castrated in a way that they just cut their dicks off.
Yeah, it's more like an injection.
Yeah, it's a chemical castration where their hormones production is just changed.
Yeah.
And I actually think that's a good system. I don't personally believe in capital punishment. I think doesn't really solve anything. It's more of a act of revenge instead of punishment. But yeah, if there was a crime for which I would suggest capital punishment, pedophilia and abuse of children would be very high on that list.
Same here.
Okay, let's move to something more positive. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because this is just bumming me out.
Yeah.
So, remember when a few weeks ago we were maybe even months ago, we were talking about the fact that Andrzej Sapkowski, the creator of The Witcher, the books, was asking or demanding more compensation from CD Projekt Red because the game was just so much more successful than he ever thought and he got paid so very little. So apparently CD Projekt Red is now offering him more money, which is
awesome.
Yay! This is what I actually hoped in when we reported on that.
Yeah, same here.
I actually remember reading the lawsuit itself, and from what I understood, he had a very clear case because of the laws in Poland. So he actually originally demanded 60 million Polish zloty, which is about $16 million. And that was for royalties related to the sequel and spin-off games in the Witcher video game series. And while we don't know how much money he is getting in reality, we know that he's going to be getting less than that. But yeah, it's just a good thing that he's getting more money. Though I don't think he's doing bad in terms of money right now.
Yeah.
Because, let's face it, have you ever heard about the Witcher books before the Witcher games?
Honestly?
No.
No, I have not.
I did, but that's only because I come from the country that's directly neighboring to the country where it's actually popular.
Yeah.
Where it was popular before that. And it was sort of set in this Slavic sort of world. So it sort of spoke to me. I actually read the books before any of the games came out. Even before The Witcher 1 came out, I read the Witcher books.
Huh, awesome.
But nowadays, if you go anywhere around the world, people will know about The Witcher, even about the books.
Yeah.
And obviously, he is also going to be getting some money from the Netflix show that's going to be coming out. But yeah, it's a good thing that he got more money, because the original sum of money he got was just laughably small for the amount of success the brand managed to create.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, yeah, that's just poor judgment on his part. I mean, asking for only a lump sum of 10 grand.
It was actually 9,350 USD at current money. It was 35,000 Polish zloty. Which, okay, what could you buy for 35,000 zloty 12 years ago? I'm trying to like figure out, because like the buying price of Czech currency and Polish currency is sort of similar to a degree, at least, you know, what you can buy with an amount of money. I would say for most people here in the Czech Republic or Poland, that would be around a year's income at that time. Maybe more at that time. Maybe like a year and a half. So it wasn't like a small sum of money, you know, for him personally, probably. But compared to what he made in the past years, it's just insanely tiny.
Yeah.
Let me actually try to find an average wage in Poland, because I'm actually interested in that. Average wage in Poland. Poland. So right now, the average wage in Poland is 5,000 Polish zloty per month. And 35,000 divided by 5,000, that's 7 months worth of money right now. So it probably used to be, yeah, like a year, maybe slightly over a year worth of money for the average wage. Yeah, but then you're just fascinated of how little money we live here, right?
Honestly, I'm more fascinated that the author of the Witcher series did not, you know, like I said, it was poor judgment on his part for not asking for royalties instead of just, you know, like I said, one lump sum. Which I am glad that they are giving him more money now. So.
Yeah, I will agree that he should have asked for royalties. Like, even 1% of the, if he asked, it would have been so much more money over the time. Though, I can actually see why he asked for a flat sum. So, the books, they never succeeded, you know, anywhere apart from Poland, pretty much. There actually was a TV series. There is a Witcher TV series that you can watch right now, originally Polish.
Yeah. Yeah.
That never succeeded anywhere. Not even in Poland. It was just abysmally bad.
Wow.
Like, I actually live pretty close to the Polish border, and I can actually like get Polish TV on my TV.
Oh wow.
I actually seen like one or two episodes, parts of the episodes when I was like channels just swapping, trying to find what's going on. I was like, what's this? So I would look at, you remember teletext?
I don't know what that is.
So that was like the internet for the TV.
Ah.
So I was like, what is this? So I would just, put on teletext and watch it. Oh, it's The Witcher. Okay. I like the book. Let me actually watch it for like, a while. Because Polish is really easy for me to understand. It's pretty much the same language as Czech with a lot more Z in there. It was so bad. Like, Super Mario Brothers levels of bad.
Oh wow.
No, probably not that much, but not that much better either.
Hopefully, the Netflix series will be better.
It's not that hard to be better than that. But hopefully it will be good, I think is what you wanted to say.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's it for the news for this week. So let's go on to the next section of the show. Let's talk about interesting games for next week. So
Yep.
tell me, what is something that you like for next week?
Well, the first game I'm interested in is Far Cry New Dawn.
Oh.
This will be the first Far Cry game that's actually a direct sequel to Far Cry 5.
Okay, that's actually interesting.
Yeah. Spoiler alert for anyone that does not know, but at the end of Far Cry 5, the game literally ends with a nuclear war. And this takes place 17 years after the bombs drop. And I'm curious to see what all the other characters, like the characters I was introduced to into into Far Cry 5. I'm kind of interested to see if any of them are still alive, or see what happened to them before New Dawn. So I'm kind of interested to see what happened to all the characters, and especially the main character, because the game, like the final moment of the game, is you been tied up in a bunker with the main quote unquote villain of the game. So yeah, I can't wait to see how this game turns out. Comes out February 15th, this Friday, for $40. So it's on the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. So if you're interested in this, I'll say go for it.
So you know what I really like about New Dawn?
The colors.
Yes, it's just so amazingly colorful. And I really like that in games. It just, even though it's going to be like serious in its story, it still knows that colors, actually I think colors in this sort of a setting just make the seriousness stand out even more. And I love that. I truly love that. Though I'm not going to play it because it's just going to be another Far Cry.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll play it yet either, but just to wait and see.
Okay, moving on to one of my games, which I actually technically only have one because I also wanted to recommend Far Cry New Dawn. But this is a game called Away Journey to the Unexpected. And this game actually caught my eye because of its description. The first sentence I was like, okay, this sounds interesting. It says, "Welcome to a feel-good first-person shooter." I was like, what do you mean by that? That just sounds cool, actually. A feel-good first-person shooter. The rest of the description, it's going to be a first-person shooter with some action, negotiation, and roguelite elements. I really want to see the negotiation part of the game. That sounds really interesting. But yeah, I really want to see this. It seems to be sort of cute-ish. Yeah, I'm just fascinated. How do you do a first-person shooter with a negotiation mechanic? How does that even work?
I think the way I would do it is, if you like get the drop on a group of enemies, you'd be able to like negotiate, so that way they could like survive or join your side or whatever.
So what I understood from the trailer, I think it has like, you can get buddies, like helpers in the game, and you probably need to convince them to be your buddies. So that's the way I'm expecting it to be done. And it's coming to Steam, to the Switch, to PS4, and the Xbox One on the 13th.
Okay, I might check this game out.
Okay. I know that you have 3 more games to recommend, so go on.
Actually, 2.
Yeah.
Next up is Metro Exodus, which is the 3rd game in the Metro series. This is a lot. This is a less colorful post-apocalyptic game, but Metro Exodus, and it's a Metro game, and there's gonna be more of an emphasis on survival and conserving ammo. You also gotta hope that you don't suffocate out on radiated zones. If you're a fan of this series like I am, you definitely will enjoy this. It's also coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC on the 15th for $60, so full price.
I will not play the game, but I seriously need to read the books sometime. Yeah.
I'm actually playing through the first one right now, 2033. And yeah, I'll also need to read the books as well, because I really want to see how the books and the games compare to each other. But yeah, if you're a fan of the series, I'd say go for it. Yeah. And last is Crackdown 3, which is coming to Xbox One and PC. Also on the 15th. God, the 15th is going to be a crowded day. But yeah, it's Crackdown 3. It was first announced back in 2015. Actually, 2014. And it's been in development hell for such a long time. It's pretty much just Grand Theft Auto with superpowers mixed in with it. And if you're a fan of the series, like I said, with Metro Exodus, hey, go for it. One of the good things about Crackdown 3, though, is if you have Game Pass, you can actually play it for free. Or if you don't have Game Pass, you only have to pay $10 to play it. So, that's a lot. That's a lot better deal than paying full price for the game. So,
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, hopefully it's good.
Yeah, that's always the hope with games we recommend.
Yeah, like Crackdown 3 is one of the bigger ones, because it's been like I said, it's been development hell for almost 5 years now, and hopefully they can deliver what they promised.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you got to recommend?
Nope. That's it.
Okay, then it's time to slowly bring the show to an end. And as we do, we will do a little bit of shilling. So you can find me on YouTube as Kralizec Gaming, where I do reviews of video games, and on SteemTrail, where I do pretty much the same, but I also write about science occasionally.
Alright, and you can find me on YouTube as Tygergamer. You can find me on SteemTrail at Tygergamer, and on both sites I do Let's Plays, and right now I am still working hard on my Kingdom Hearts 3 review. I'm trying to play the game 100% to make sure I cover all my bases with the game. So look forward to that whenever I get around to actually writing it and recording and all that. So look forward to that.
And with that being said, that's going to be it for today, guys. We hope you enjoyed today's show, and if you did, please consider giving us a thumbs up here on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. If you would like to, you can also go to SteemTrail and give us an upvote there and follow our blog. And with that being said, that's going to be it. So see you guys next time with more gaming content.
Y'all have a good one.